Hey everybody, I'm Leah and today we're going to do a really quick video about my everyday summer look right now. It's beautiful outside, it's officially summer, so I've been doing this look for the last couple of days and I'm super happy with it. It's lasting all day throughout the weather. It's like high 80s, low 90s if you're in Fahrenheit. Mid to like high 20s if you're in Celsius. So I just wanted to share this look. I think it's really easy and it's really pretty and it's using a lot of products that I think most people have already. So if you want to go ahead and see my new dewy summer look, go ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so my face is clean and ready to go. I'm just going to continue to be using my Tarte Maracuja oil. It's okay, just as a little quick update to my previous video dedicated to this. I like it, however, I've had to cheat a little bit with like a little bit of a stronger oil in my chin area. I've been noticing like quite a bit of dryness, which I don't normally experience. So I'm not sure that this is like the superfruit that it's cracked up to be. Like I said, I've had to cheat a little bit and use a bit of a heavier oil to kind of combat some extra dryness. Everywhere else in my face has been really good, but the verdict is still out on that. Okay, so next for foundation, I've been really loving the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation. I haven't had to wear it for 25 hours, thank goodness, but it does really last well in the summer heat and in the humidity and in the sweatiness, so that's impressive. So I imagine it would have some pretty good lasting power, but like I said, I just haven't had to wear it for more than, I don't know, 12, 14, 13 hours. So I kind of slapped a couple of lines on my skin there. You can barely see it because the color match is amazing. I'm in 300 Sand. This is probably like a medium to full coverage foundation. I don't use a whole lot, and it does do quite a bit of coverage. So I imagine it's buildable, but for what I like to do, I just do this amount, if you can see that there. So next I've mixed in my Makeup Revolution liquid highlighter in Champagne. This stuff is really nice. And instead of using the dropper, I just put a couple of lines on my upper cheeks here. And using my clean hands, I'm just going to start rubbing it in. Concentrating the highlight there up on my cheekbones, but if it rubs onto the rest of my face, that's okay. Okay, on to concealer. I just picked up the Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer. I kind of wanted to pick this up right before the foundation came out, just to see how it works. There's tons of claims about this concealer. It is made with coconut water and alpine rose hyaluronic acid, which is awesome for keeping moisture in any area, but for here under your eyes. 100% improvement in skin moisture levels after 1 hour. That's amazing. 97% said it provides a natural, undetectable finish. 97% said it provides smooth, creaseless finish, and another 97%, so it's maybe all the same people here, saying it provides a flawless, no makeup look. I like it. I've picked it up here in the shade Light Nude. There's no number, but Light Nude. And it kind of like does the opposite of oxidizing. I find that like it goes on kind of dark, and then once you start to blend it out, it turns a little bit lighter. So that I find interesting, but as a concealer, I've been really enjoying it. It does look pretty flawless. It does look very creaseless, and I don't know, I like it. Just gonna slap a little extra of this onto some trouble spots around my chin. And the stuff just blends out really nicely. Okay, now that we have our base on, I'm going to go ahead and start with my contour using my Tarteist ProGlow. I'm going to be using the only cream shade in here, which is called Shade, and taking my Smashbox 3-in-1 Telephoto 3-in-1 face brush. I'm going to keep it on the lowest level. It does go to 2 and then 3 levels, so depending on what kind of firmness you need. I'm going to keep it on the lowest level and just dip really lightly into the shade color, like really lightly because it's super pigmented, and I'm just going to contour. This foundation sits really nicely when I use a brush like this. It doesn't lift or anything when I'm blending in my contour. I typically just do my cheekbones with that shade because it is pretty potent and I just like the lines that it creates. But next I'm actually going to do a little bit more contouring and bronzing with my Butter Bronzer. I do have the light shade, which does seem to still really work for me even though I'm a little bit more tanned right now. Taking a nice big fluffy brush, And transporting myself to the tropical islands. Just gonna get a good amount here and just start swirling it on my cheeks. Kind of a light hand, but at the same time making sure I'm getting a good amount of product on there. Swirling in, and I'm kind of just now gonna stamp it into my hairline. And I do that because like my foundation's still just a little bit tacky, so I find when I like try and swirl it in like a sort of circular small area, it gets a little bit patchy. So I find stamping it in there just gets a nice like even application, and then you can sort of brush it in and blend it out. But then you're at least getting a good equal amount of pigment all over. And because I got a little bit of a double chin, doing the little Rihanna trick with the triangle. And when I'm contouring the side of my face, I try and just graze it right here. I don't like to start here because it's like line, white, line. For myself, I like to just graze it here and then keep the shadow underneath where it should be. We shouldn't really have shadows on the side of our face because this is shadow here and then flat, but then underneath is where we want. So we'll start it right here so that we got that dark line and then the shadow underneath, which is going to give you a really nice jawline. Nice definition. Taking a little bit onto my throat just to make sure it's nice and even. It's almost like adding a little bit of perfume. Next, I'm just going to keep the same brush and I'm going to go into my Kristin Leann by Urban Decay, the Beauty Beam Highlighter Palette. And I'm just going to swirl everything all together and go over pretty much just on my cheekbones where I just put the butter bronzer. It just adds a little bit more tone, a little bit more depth, and a little bit more of that like coppery bronzy warmth. This is definitely a highlighter, so it is going to add some shimmer, but like, nothing wrong with that. You're almost there, people. We're almost done. And just taking what's left on the brush because I don't want to be too crazy shiny, and I'm just going to just like that. Just so we're nice and even and blend it out. Alright, so now just to finish off the highlight, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Mega Glow in Golden Flower Crown. And I'm also going to be using this on my eyes, but I just want to do a little bit more pop on the cheeks. And I'm going to take this little brush from Real Techniques. It's super handy. I use this for contour. I use this for setting my eyes. I use this for highlight. I should probably grab a few more so I don't have to wash this all the time, but it is a very, very useful brush. It's called the Multitask Cheek Brush. Alright, now that we're officially glowing, we're going to move on to the eyes. This is going to be really, really quick. I have tiny eyelids, just tiny eyes in general, so I don't have a whole lot of space to work with. And especially in the summer, I don't like to do a whole lot. I have also very, very oily eyelids, and they crease like crazy. So I'm priming my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. This stuff does work very, very well. It's a little bit hot now to have zero creasing, but this stuff does work quite amazing. We're just going to keep it pretty natural there. Just keep the primer on. And I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. This is the medium to deep matte bronzer. And just taking another Real Techniques brush. This is base shadow brush. I just really like it. I really like this brush. It's really nice and fluffy. And it says it's for base shadows, but I use this for my crease. Just the classic no makeup kind of look. So just using the bronzer to create a nice shadow, a little bit of depth and dimension. This does help to make my small eyes stand out a little bit more. Popping back into my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlight, I'm just going to use the same brush and pop a little bit of this onto the lids. Ooh, that's so pretty. So there, in 3 or 4 minutes, eyes are pretty much done. We're going to curl the lashes. Get some mascara on. Where's my eyelash? So for my lashes, I like them to be super long and really separated. I do like some volume for some looks, but especially in the summer when I'm doing kind of a bare look with, you know, no eyeliner or anything, I just like it to be like skin, glow, lashes for days. So I've been just curling my eyelashes, not just one, all of them. And I've been starting off with this Annabelle Skinny Lash, which is really, really good. It's not great just on its own for me personally, although I could probably get away with wearing it on its own. It has this teeny tiny little brush and it really, really works well to separate all of the lashes. It does provide some length, but I find if you can get to the base of your lashes and just comb up, you know how you can like kind of feel it catch and then go up, that's really good. So I pretty much just use this like as a primer because like I said, it just kind of like lifts and separates my lashes without adding like a bunch of like weird fiber or like dry primer formula. Sorry, next I'm using, I just got this like little in a kit, the Maneater from Tarte. This stuff is so good. I'm convinced that mascara is only as good as its brush. I'm one of those people. Of course, different formulas are gonna last longer or like flake or not flake. This is a great formula, it's super black, but the brush is what makes it for me. It's super, super spiky and it's super, super hard. Like these bristles, they stay clean. They don't like come out and it doesn't look all clumpy like sometimes you see like the Lash Paradise, I think, comes out looking like that. And those ones with the softer brushes that get packed on with product, those are gonna give you tons of volume because they're like putting on so much product. Whereas this, the product is really concentrated around the middle of the brush. So you have to really like comb through with these really firm brushes, which again is adding more separation, combing them out, giving them some length. But this is just adding an amazing amount of mascara. Alright, so I was so happy with all my bronzing and highlighting everything that I didn't even do any blush. But I do want to throw on just a little bit, tiny bit of color. So I'm going to use Tarte Amazonian Clay in Harmony. It's just a really nice sort of peachy taupey, and it's just going to add a little bit more definition without giving me like a punch of pink, which I don't really want right now. So using yet another Real Techniques brush. This is a multitask brush. And I'm just going to kind of pop it on my cheeks just for a tiny bit more color. I'm really, really loving all this bronziness, so I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go like pink. Alright, so almost finished. We're just going to do the brows here. I've got the L'Oreal Brow Artist Shaper. I love this. It's absolutely amazing. This is in the shade... It doesn't say the shade, but it's a pretty taupey color. It's very, very light. I'll just swatch it on the back of my hand so you can see that. I do have pretty fair brows. Works really well for me. On this side it does come with a little brush. I'm not crazy about this style of brush, but it does work. And on this end it has a wax. It definitely lasts, but they're not like held in place. So I'll show you when I put it on that it kind of like gives this like waxed feel to it or waxed appearance to it, but it's not like using like a brow gel or a pomade where it's like, oh, my brows ain't going anywhere. So I've already gone ahead and got this brow on just to kind of show you the difference. That only took like maybe a minute or two. And I do have naturally like pretty good full brows, but just like look at that. It was so easy. So I'm going to show you just on the next brow and just combing this up really quickly, just a little bit. And then just starting from the base and just kind of going up. So I'm getting kind of a straight line, but not like a harsh line. And then just drawing up and adding in hairs and thickness where I need it. Then just switching to the wax side. This does, it like uses up really quickly, so I have to sharpen it probably like every other day, but that's okay. I don't know how long it's gonna last. It is a double-ended pencil, so I don't know if like the color will go to here and the wax will go to here, you know what I mean? But we'll find out. So you see using that wax just kind of adds a little bit more shape to it, and it kind of just darkens them up a little bit, like adds like almost a wet look to them. But they're still nice and fluffy, and I do find them very natural looking, and like I said, that only takes me a couple of minutes, so that I really, really like. And just finishing everything off with a little MAC Prep and Prime. And there we have it, everybody. This is my easy summer go-to look. It's super nice and super glowy, and it only takes me about 10 minutes every day. So if you guys like this video, if you like this look, give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing and joining me on my journey. I'm so happy to have you here and have you watching these videos, and I thank you so, so much. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. Aloha!